So she knows that I failed. Christina is a bit annoyed.
I'm sorry. I was inexperienced and hot-headed. I let the criminal escape and made you guys worry. Compared to me, Shalom's task is 100 times more difficult, and the enemies she faces are 100 times more dangerous. In the end, she has to be distracted by my matters.
I mean, your enemy is an S-class sinner. What is she facing? A double S-class? I don't think they exist in this world.
Say that to her yourself. Shalom asked me to contact you to provide information. I've dealt with a few assassins from the garden. They're not psychopaths who kill for fun. Apart from accepting commissions, the garden's actions are usually highly purposeful and very much driven by sentiment. From the series of cases you've taken over, the garden intentionally connected several isolated incidents to create a sense of ritual. This sense of ritual has a purpose. Shalom hopes that you can figure it out. They rarely act so ostentatiously. This is an opportunity. We have already sent people to track down the garden's base.
Strong connections. I think I have an idea.
And there's one last thing she asked me to convey. Shalom says she'll be there for you whenever you need her. But she believes you can do it.
Okay. Thank you for the clues you gave me. Thank you, Shalom. I know what to do now. These guys, having ties with the underground forces and still insisting on causing trouble at the most critical moment of the battle. I won't let them off.
I guess Shalom might be dealing with the underground forces. The underground forces will have their own S-rank sinners, of course. Garden is just part of the underground, like a subsidiary, like they have an alliance, sort of, like they work for the underground, which is like a separate organization.
When I'm not around, you have to protect her. Special Force Rahu, I'm counting on you.
It's like Taliban is in Afghanistan, right? But they have a wing, which is the Afghan Taliban, which is in Pakistan. So it's kind of like a wing there, like a daughter company or something.
Of course. I won't let her die. That's the order given to me.
After hanging up the phone, Christina slaps her face hard. Clap.
All right. I'm fully charged! To live up to everyone's expectations, the famous great detective will continue to shine and illuminate the darkness.
She doesn't return to the investigation team, but heads straight to the next investigation site, to Nathan's house. The Public Security Bureau is investigating Nathan's file, and it can confirm that he was smuggled into Eastside from Syndicate 10 years ago. His experience before that are a blank slate. Not long after he smuggled into Eastside, he opened a large construction company and took on many projects, but the company's performance was not ideal and had been losing money for the past 10 years. Under these circumstances, large amount of unexplained funds have been constantly flowing into Nathan's personal account. Although these funds are well managed and no discrepancies can be found, this itself is enough to prove that there's something wrong with Nathan. He has a nice place. Look at the size of that microwave, holy shit. Christina arrives at Nathan's house. Just like his file, Nathan's house is also cleaned very neatly, nothing out of the ordinary. Except for a handwritten phone book which has Ananya's numbers, the corresponding name is written in code. Christina follows up and checks a few other numbers in the phone book. Most of these contacts are wealthy businessmen engaged in charity work, and there's also a high-ranking official in Eastside. Perhaps like Ananya, they were also all potential blackmail targets chosen by Nathan, so they could all be dead then. Ananya's house. I don't think they know how to spell Ananya, honestly. Ooh, this likes the Shalom's place. Christina discovers that Ananya did have some online searches about Nathan after receiving his text. However, according to the record, her searches focus on Nathan's construction company and not Nathan himself. Following her search records, Christina finds that Ananya was indeed purposefully collecting information. Nathan's construction company often gets involved in disputes related to the quality of the project, and these disputes end up being minimized or dismissed in the end. The most recent project record is a demolition project of a company ruin on the east bank of the Rust. But for some reason it has been in a state of suspension. Online rumors says the place is haunted and no workers would dare to go. Christina does some checking and finds that the building was originally built by Nathan's company, but it was abruptly halted midway, which is why it became a ruin. From construction to suspension, from the decision to demolish it to another suspension, so many questions regarding this 10-year-long project.
On a night of rains, fireflies glide. By fractured walls, shadows of ruins reside.
Ruins. She unfolds the map and carefully searches around the rust corresponding to the construction project sites that Nathan once took on. Some of them have been completed, some have long been demolished. The only one left is an unfinished broken wall, like an urban legend that can't be demolished.
Found it!
It is 5:36 BS 104, the second scene, but before that, let's look at the detective file. An FAC soldier responsible for protecting Shalom. She looks tall and reliable. They only met during the recent incident at Erica Villa, but they seem to know each other pretty well and trust each other. Somehow I'm a bit jealous. Anyway, Rahu is indeed an awe-inspiring senior. A lot of people look up to her. Rahu's shields can freely switch between attack and defense mode, which is pretty sick, but my detective notebook and Kane are not to be underestimated either. By the way, Rahu talked, so she may not be... Oh, so she did not get turned into a puppet. She got turned into a willing slave or like a actual proper servant. Her mind is probably brainwashed though, 100%. The most logical deduction: the killer was motivated by vengeance. The killer was just carrying out a mission. The killer committed the crime for profit. Well, so far, sounds like vengeance or carrying out a mission are the only two ones. But if it's related to NF-103, it must be vengeance, right? To Paradisos? So that must be it. The case has been linked to another drowning case that took place in the same location, the failure case. The victim worked in FSC's communication department and had supported a major operation in NF-103. He drowned in the Bloom courtyard on April 7th, NF-104. The killer's motive can be confirmed as exact retaliation. The suspects can be narrowed down to two individuals: Nathan, the last person the victims contacted, and the leader of the garden, the mentor. By the way, most of the abilities of... how should I put this? If you were to rank abilities, B rank ones usually have abilities that gives them temporary boosts. And when it comes to air, like, I forget the name, Wendy? Is it Wendy? She has like a chainsaw spin attack, and there's another one that has like attack boost and stuff like that, or like a critical strike. That's usually what B classes get. As for A classes, they get like a little bit more special abilities, like what was her name? Hecate. She has like a dragon that like shadow dragon that pulls out a fucking beam when she attacks and shit like that. S class have like some world altering abilities, like this one with the bloom and all that. Let's see. Drowning case photo. Victim's scene of the drowning case that occurred in NF-104. The victim's name is Ophelia. The drowning posture and the arrangement of the flowers around the victim is very similar to those in the Ananya case. Alright, let's go into the second scene. The second crime scene is at the wall of collapse, next to the rust, what secrets are buried under the brick wall blooming with flowers.
Who will bloom under my sword today?
Hello? Who's this? I'm busy here.
That looks sick.
Inspector! I know where Nathan is. I'm sending you the location. It may not be correct. I'll go ahead and scout first.
No, it's dangerous, kid! Wait for us to go together!
There's no time!
She jumps down from a pile of garbage. A foot twist, she rolls down, head over heels. Before she has time to crowd in pain, she gets up with her hands and feet and runs.
The criminal did catch Nathan first, but she didn't immediately kill him. According to the second sentence of the flowery scroll, Nathan should be the second person to bloom according to the criminal's plan. What if there's still a chance? What if I can make it in time? If I make it, he doesn't have to die.
But if the murderer is at the scene?
She better be. Christina has a lot to say to the mentor. Even if she doesn't bump into her here, she will definitely catch up. She must find that white-haired sinner. She's basically just following the sinner's plan. She is basically getting fooled here. She is worse than Rahu, holy shit.